If modern life feels harder every year, if we're more tired, more anxious, even when life looks fine, it's not because we're doing something wrong, it's because our brains were never built for a world like this. Our minds are still running on Stone Age hardware while everything around us moves at digital speed. And that constant background anxiety might be actually our brains doing exactly what they're evolved to do. For most of human history, life looked very different. You lived in a small tribe, 50, maybe 100 people. You knew everyone. You had a role. You woke up knowing what the day was for. Life was physically hard, but mentally simple. Danger was clear and immediate. Something moved in the bushes, a storm rolled in, someone called your name. You reacted, and then it was over. Connection was face-to-face. Belonging was obvious. And the purpose was simple: survive, protect your people, get through the day. Now, fast forward to 2026. Before you even get up, your phone lights up. Messages, notifications, news, alerts, and your attention is already split. Interruptions don't mean danger anymore, they just keep coming. We carry infinite information in our pockets. Opinions, updates, decisions, with almost no pause. The pace never settles. New tools, new expectations, and no clear ending. And through all this, your brain is just trying to keep up. But here's the problem. Your brain hasn't changed nearly as fast as the world has. Let's zoom in onto the brain itself. Why does modern life feel hard, even when nothing is technically wrong? We used to think that stress comes from having too much to do. But neurologically, uncertainty is far more draining. Our brains evolved to predict and make sense of stable environment. Routine meant safety, uncertainty meant danger. In the Stone Age, surprises were rare and serious. Today, uncertainty is constant. Will I get the job? How will people react to my post? Is the economy crashing? And what's counterintuitive is that uncertainty itself can be more stressful than pain. In one experiment, participants were told that they might receive a painful electric shock. Some knew that the pain was definitely coming, others were told that there is only a 50% chance. The surprising result? The uncertain group showed stronger stress responses than the group that knew that the pain was coming. But the brain not knowing was more distressing than pain. And when the brain is stuck in uncertainty, it starts looking for relief. And not long-term solutions, cheap rewards. And modern life is filled with signals that might matter. Message, notification, each one keeps the system engaged but not nourished. Over time, constant engagement takes a toll. That's why thinking itself starts to feel harder. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for focus, planning, and self-control, is powerful. But it was never meant for constant use. Our ancestors used it in bursts, deciding how to track an animal, resolving a tribal problem, followed by long stretches of routine or rest. Today we ask it to be on all day. Messages, meetings, decisions, what should I reply, what should I do next? The brain cannot fully multitask, so it switches. And every switch comes at cost. In one set of experiments, participants were working on tasks that required frequent switching. Answering messages, jumping between tasks, changing rules. The tasks weren't stressful, they weren't difficult, but the body reacted as if they were dangerous. Frequent task switching increased cortisol, adrenaline, and caused more errors, even when people felt like they were handling it fine. This constant alert shows up in small moments. A slow internet connection, a message that didn't go through, and suddenly your whole nervous system spikes. Our Stone-Age brain treats a missed UPS delivery like a predator attack. Not because there is one, but because your nervous system hasn't had time to recover. And even rest doesn't resolve it. You finally get a free evening, a day off. You expect relief, but instead you feel restless, bored. Quiet feels uncomfortable. It's not because we forgot how to rest, it's because a nervous system used to constant stimulation treats silence almost like withdrawal. And since we rarely truly disconnect, we keep checking, scrolling, boring. Rest becomes like trying to recharge battery while still draining it. And then there is loneliness. Instead of a small group of equals, we scroll past highlight reels of thousands of lives. Careers, bodies, relationships, achievements. And despite of being connected all the time, many of us still feel strangely alone. And loneliness isn't just emotional, it's physical. If you ever felt tight chest or heavy stomach or real pain while feeling rejected or alone, that's not imagination. fMRI studies show that social rejection activates the same brain region involved in physical pain, the anterior cingulate cortex. Rejection hurts in literal neurological sense. Because for the most of human history, being alone wasn't sad, it was dangerous. No protection, no shared resources, isolation meant vulnerability. So the brain still treats it as an emergency. That's why chronic loneliness raises stress hormones and weakens the immune system. Loneliness isn't a separate problem. It's one of the clearest signs of the same mismatch we've been talking about all along. Let's try to look at this differently. What we're experiencing is what scientists call an evolutionary mismatch. We moved from lives that were simple but brutal to lives that are fast, complex, and mentally overwhelming, without time to adapt. As one biologist put it, we have Paleolithic brain and godlike technology. It's like dropping a hunter-gatherer into Times Square. Internally, that's us. Every single day. So if focus feels hard, if stress lingers, if motivation drops, that's not a personal failure. That's a human brain trying to adapt to an environment that changed faster than biology. And once you see that, the question changes. Instead of what's wrong with me, it becomes, what is my brain responding to? And we don't fix this by forcing ourselves to be tougher or more productive. We fix it by working with the brain we actually have, giving it what it evolved to need. Quiet, rhythm, boundaries, real human connection. And once we do, even in small ways, the nervous system starts to soften. Understanding this doesn't fix everything, but it changes how much of it we blame on ourselves.